Hello, I'm David Fuentes, and I want to invite you to our upcoming youth retreat. We call this retreat an encounter with God. In the book of Exodus, Moses had an encounter with God, and it resulted in the nation of Israel being led out of captivity from the bondage of the Egyptian nation with the mighty hand of God. In the book of Jonah, the prophet Jonah also had an encounter with God. It wasn't a very fun one, but it resulted in something very beautiful. Not only did a ship full of pagan mariners make vows to God after they witnessed the power of Yahweh, the God of Israel, but the nation of Nineveh also repented in sackcloth and ashes and escaped from the judgment of God. Fast forward into the New Testament, a man by the name of Saul. He was a persecutor of the Christians. He would torture Christians. On his way to Damascus, he had an encounter with God. God changed his name to Paul and became perhaps the greatest apostle of all time and wrote 1/3 of the New Testament. Here's just one testimony of a young lady who came to one of these retreats, and God used this retreat to help restore her life and restore her family's life at the same time. Watch this.
At the beginning of 8th grade, that's when everything just started like dropping. I started hanging out, of course, with people who wasn't good for me, people who wasn't a good example for me like growing up. And then, I just started hanging with people who did drugs, and I got into it. And, one of the drugs that like got me the most was, crystal. And like, my mood, everything started changing in my life, like just started consuming my heart. And like at times I would just feel so depressed that I would just be like, you know what, I don't need nobody by myself. So I just started, staying away from my family, from the people that actually were good for me. And I just started, doing my group where the people who I thought loved me and care about me, like, were just there for me, but they weren't really there for me. So I just started, hanging out with them, started running away from home. I remember one time I had to tell my parents that I was doing drugs, and I was just laughing, but at that point I didn't understand how painful it was for them to take it. They were still, even though that I was messing up, like they were there like, what are we gonna do for you now? Like, what can I do? And just, things started happening in my house. My parents weren't having the same communication. My brothers were lost too. And now I know that through everything I went, God was with me. Because even though that I was bad, my parents were still calling me, are you okay? Do you need something? Karen, we're praying for you. Go back to school at least. What can I do for you? And then I would just be like, no, it's okay, I'm good. When I went to the encounter, it was just something awesome. It was something that I wasn't expecting, because I have never gone, I have gone to one, but it wasn't like the same. So it was really different. And when you like the activities that we're doing, and then they give you this one paper where it says that God had already forgiven you, that really impacted my life like a lot. And I guess God just opened your eyes and just tells you like, Karen, like, what are you doing? I show you this. And I just started thinking about every single thing that I experienced right there, and every single topic that they give you right there. It's just like you feel that God was taking control of it. That God was there because he knew what you were going through, and yet before that he put somebody to talk about what you were going through, so for you to understand clearly. So, and then when we came back, it was just so amazing because I learned to appreciate my parents. I learned that God sent me my parents for a reason, and it doesn't matter if they're not perfect, because nobody is. But I knew that God was working in our hearts now that we had gone to the encounter. So it was just so amazing because my mom was so changed. Her attitude was just completely different. My dad as well. It was just something that after the encounter, we were just working together to make our lives better, to make, to change and actually just focus on what God wants us to do now. After the encounter, you want to come and just talk to all your friends and people that you love the most and tell them about the truth, the real truth about God. Now you're going to know that no matter what, God is there, that He has control of everything. If you let go of God, then your life is just completely gone, I mean, He's our joy, He's everything we need. Hi, my name is Karen Jimenez, and I really encourage you to come to this retreat. Just like God changed my life, He's going to change your life too.
Wow, what a wonderful story. That's just one example, just one testimony of one life, of one family that was impacted and transformed in result of this encounter. About 3 years ago, I went to my retreat, and ever since then, I've been a changed person. God has changed me. God has saved me from the wrath to come. 1 Corinthians 5:17 says that if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creature. The old has gone away, and behold, new things have come. So we look forward to seeing you at their upcoming youth retreat. We're going to have live music. We're going to have special guest speakers that will bless your heart. And we're going to have, food. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hope to see you there.